Good morning, people. How are y'all doing? Welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Hope you are having a blessed week. We're going to just jump right on into it. But before we do, let's take care of a little bit of business. When you enter, please hit that like button. This helps the video get out to more people. More people need to know what exactly is going on. So there's multiple things happening right now. They're kind of tied together, though. So there is a ban that Trump has placed on at least 19 countries. It may be more by now, but we're going to go with the 19 that I know about. They're going to be announcing more later. And this also coincides with food stamps and any kind of government assistance. If you thought that this was over, well, think again. It is not over, okay? This food stamp fraud is not over. The food stamps that people are getting, the ones that need it, are getting it. They're going to make sure that the ones that don't need it are not getting it. Now, there may be some people in between that will be hurt by this. So I have been hearing so many rumblings of things. So I started digging. Let's see what we found. First of all, to God, I give the glory for me to even be here, to be able to give this information to you while we still can, because we know that they are kind of tightening the reins on the information that some of us are providing for y'all to know, because mainstream media is not giving it to you. They want you to look at other things. These are all distractions, but they are things that are happening. So I'm going to let you know. With this food stamps, they're going to pause the stamps again. Now, mind you, this whole clamp down on people not receiving their food stamps in October and just now receiving them, that was all a part of the plan, okay, to get hundreds of thousands of people off of food stamps, like to just, stop that service, period, from those who are taking advantage of it. And there are a lot of people that are taking advantage of it. And there are some who desperately need it and can't even get it. So that's number one. So prepare is number two. Make your plan and prepare. If you are receiving food stamps, if you know someone who is receiving food stamps, pass this video over to them or just let them know. Please start preparing as far as stocking up your home and making sure you have food for your children for when they pull the plug on you. And I know some are going to say, well, they said food stamps are good until 2026, I think September or somewhere around there. Well, that's what they say, but so many other things are happening right now. This is what's going on. So let's just dig right into the first little bit of it, because it all ties to why they are now back on the food stamp train again and are going to stop food stamps again. Yes, food stamps will stop again for hundreds and thousands of people. Okay, so it starts with the ban that Trump just placed. Trump bans immigrants from 19 countries in the wake of Afghan migrant terror attack that happened in DC. The move could affect more than 1.5 million people with pending asylum applications, as well as 50,000 who were granted asylum under the previous administration. Homeland Security has come out and said, I will show you guys clips of all of these things and also what's going on with the food stamps. So Homeland Security came out and said that in addition to pausing the green card requests from 19 countries that were already subject to a travel ban earlier this year anyway, the president is reportedly considering extending the ban to more than 30 countries. Okay, so we already have 19 countries. They want to extend it to 30 countries, and they're supposed to announce that sometime this week. So details of the new policy were published on Tuesday in a memo on the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service website, so you can go there if you want to check it out. All countries affected by the pause are considered high risk, they say. The decision on when to lift the pause will be made by the agency's director. The Trump administration is making every effort to ensure individuals becoming citizens are best of the best, they say. Citizenship is a privilege, not a right. The agency also said that it will conduct a comprehensive review of all approved benefit requests for migrants. Now, they're saying that migrants and immigrants from a specific country, Somalia, are the highest ranking people who are receiving benefits, government assistance. Let's go over and check out some of these clips and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we're going to get into the whole food stamp of it all, okay? Because there are changes that are going to happen, and it may affect you in your state, because if your state is one of the states that's on Trump's list that are not turning over information to them for them to review through the USDA, then your benefits will be cut to that state. You won't receive those federal benefits sent to that state, which means you won't receive your food stamps. And we're back with the October situation that took place, where people were not getting anything on their cars, were not able to buy food. And I don't know if anybody learned from the lessons. I hope that they did and stocked up with whatever they did get to last them, because there are new requirements that you have to have. You know, you're going to have to recertify. I heard, I don't know for sure, but I heard that some will have to recertify every single month. Some will have to recertify, I think it was every 6 months already. So they chopped that in half to every 3 months, because things, I guess, change in the household. So they mean business. You're not going to get it. So if you're looking for a job or whatever, I pray that you find it and that you are able to support your family, because they're getting rid of a lot of benefits. And it's not just food stamps. It's, you know, a lot of government assistance that's out here now, housing as well as WIC. And WIC is women, infant, and children, if you did not know. As you can see, Secretary Brooke Rollins just confirmed that they got 800,000 people off of SNAP by doing what they did in October. So this was all a part of their plan. This was not, oh, we ran out of funding. This was none of that. This was a part of the plan. And the plan is still going. So if you are on SNAP, beware that this is what is taking place.
Stamp reform thing, which became very much a part of the national conversation during the Democrat shutdown, was SNAP reform, food stamp reform. When all of America saw what so many of us know and have been working on, but when you have so much rampant fraud in a program that 42 million Americans participate in, now big good piece of news that I hope is written about, since you became president, about 800,000 of those 42 million have moved off of food stamps, which is hopefully the plan, with better jobs, higher wages, et cetera. But still, when we found 186,000 dead people's Social Security numbers being used, 500,000 people receiving benefits more than twice. We had a couple of people receiving benefits in 6 states. In February of this year, we asked for all the states for the first time to turn over their data to the federal government, to let the USDA partner with them to root out this fraud, to make sure that those who really need food stamps are getting them, but also to ensure that the American taxpayer is protected.
Now, this goes back to what I'm saying, what she said towards the end, where they have sent out the memos to these states saying, hey, we need you to turn over this information so we can go through it and root the fraud out for you, since you can't do it on your own. Now, if those states refuse to do it, and most of those states are Democratic states, if they refuse to do it, those states will not receive funding. That means they will not have funding to give to the people who need food stamps, whether they qualify or don't qualify for them, because they won't be getting that federal assistance. Now, if the state wants to then themselves try to find the money and give partial payments out or full payments, if they can come up with it, then they're welcome to do that, but you will not get federal assistance. And I know these states don't have that money. So there are going to be people who are not going to be receiving food stamps. And why? That's because it's been massive fraud. There's been massive fraud, not just from Americans, but immigrants, massive fraud. Okay. And it's all centered really in Minnesota, the fraud that they are trying to hone out right now. But these other states are going to be affected and are tied into it.
Ban to the United States. On X, she posted, "I just met with the president. I'm recommending a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies." She goes on to say that our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom, not for foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans. We don't want them, not one. This reads. So it's unclear at this time what additional countries she may be referring to, but the Department of Homeland Security announced that this list of additional countries will be revealed soon. Now, people often ask, can the government just ban whoever they want from whatever country? And here's the legal reality. Courts have repeatedly blocked nationality-based bans when they're driven by discriminatory rhetoric.
The food stamp part of this whole ban that they're enacting now, part of it is because of what happened in DC, but part of it is also because of the fraud that is happening, especially in Minnesota.
Your SNAP benefits may be delayed in January if you're in one of the 21 states that's refusing to give the federal government access to the data. Brooke Rawlings, the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, announced today that the administration is cutting funding, federal funds, to the states that are refusing to play ball. What that means for you if you receive SNAP. The offices that handle all of the SNAP accounts will lose their funding. That's what pays their employees. They may have to work on a skeleton crew or figure it out. The funds are still going to go to the office, but the office has to dish the funds out. And if they're short-staffed, there's where the delays come in. This can simply be fixed by giving the federal government access to the database so that they can clean it. In the red states, again, we have seen that people who were dead were getting it. People were getting multiple times. People were getting it in different states. And there was illegal aliens who were getting it as well, even though it's against the federal law. So they just simply want to clean it out so that we can adjust and ensure that the funds flow like they're supposed to.
If you get food stamps starting next week, you may not get them if your state do not comply. The Donald Trump administration is simply stating this, that they will withhold SNAP benefit programs to Democratic-led states if they do not give out the information to those that's on the program. This information is very important because it's going to rule out fraud in the food aid program. My opinion, the reason why they do not want to give out that information, because it's going to show, no doubt, that it's more immigrants and illegal immigrants that's on the food aid program than Americans. Critics are simply stating this as well, that when you demand names and immigration status, it's going to invade their privacy, and also eligible families stop them from applying. Again, the Donald Trump administration basically wants stricter reform on the SNAP benefits program and to rule out fraud and its inefficiencies. What do y'all think? My name is Tiffany.
Well,
Hey everyone, it's Brooke Rawlings. This week, we are seeing real action to restore fairness, accountability, and common sense to our food assistance programs. President Trump's vision to restore common sense reforms to SNAP, or food stamps, is moving to its implementation phase. The One Big Beautiful Bill enacted revised work requirements for able-bodied adults between 18 and 64 who receive SNAP, meaning they will be required to work, to volunteer, to train, or even to study at least 80 hours a month to qualify for benefits as a floor. That's 20 hours a week and 4 hours every work day. This is about restoring dignity and responsibility. We're ending a system where some were taking advantage while honest, hardworking Americans foot the bill. As I have pointed out, the data shows clear misuse, deceased individuals still receiving checks, people collecting benefits in multiple states, and so much more. This is unacceptable. And while we're talking about that, to the 21 states who have yet to send us their data, what is it that you are hiding? Let's partner together to defend the taxpayer and make sure that those who are most vulnerable among us are receiving the benefits. There is dignity in work. There is dignity in service to your community. There is dignity in career and technical education. Also, all USDA programs, including SNAP, are continuing to be under significant review to kick off any illegal immigrants receiving federal benefits. That means no more freebies for lawbreakers. Benefits will be preserved for citizens who follow the rules. We believe in helping Americans who play by the rules. We believe that if you are able-bodied, you should work or contribute to receive taxpayer-funded help. But we also believe that there are vulnerable Americans who need this supplemental nutrition assistance benefit.
Here we go. I had to find it. Sorry about that.
America has become the center of this massive investigation. This is the Feeding Our Future scandal, a pandemic-era scheme in which defendants allegedly stole over $250 million meant to provide meals for low-income children. Instead of feeding kids, prosecutors say the money went toward luxury homes, high-end cars, jewelry, overseas transfers, and an entire network of shell companies. According to the DOJ, the conspirators submitted fake invoices, fabricated meal counts, and even staged photos to make it look like they were serving millions of meals that never existed. In some cases, they claimed to feed more children than lived in entire neighborhoods. A federal jury found Amy Bach, the founder of Feeding Our Future, and Salim Ahmed Saeed guilty of conspiracy, bribery, wire fraud, money laundering. Federal officials say more arrests may still be coming.
They say they warned Waltz early about the fraud, the Somali fraud happening. And instead of fixing it, he retaliated. The group wrote on X, quote, Tim Waltz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim Waltz know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud. But no, we got the opposite response. Tim Waltz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring, threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Waltz, certain DFL members, and an indifferent mainstream media. Well, the group also claims they wrote to Kamala Harris and the DNC several times, warning about Tim Waltz's incompetence, fraud, scandals, and retaliation efforts. But surprise, surprise, they heard nothing back. Even the New York Times now can't ignore this. They reported that one homelessness program ballooned from $2.6 million in 2021 to $104 million in 2024.
An entire community, folks who are in the professions, educators, artists, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs. They bring the diversity and the energy to a place like Minnesota. And for him to just randomly decide to do this, it makes no sense. Do your job. Get the criminals out. Secure our border. But do it with dignity and respect to the American tradition of respecting immigrants and refugees as a beacon of hope.
Translation? They're the Democrat voting base, and he needs them now that he's seeking re-election for a third term.
So it's been known for quite a while that Ilhan Omar apparently married her own brother to help him gain entry illegally into the country. That's a violation of immigration law. That actually happened, it turns out. And now we're learning the FBI had evidence to confirm it, but didn't do anything about it. Randa Devine is an actual journalist. She works at the New York Post, where she writes a column. She joins us tonight to explain what exactly happened. Randa, thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure, Tucker. Well, some basically Republican operatives up in Minnesota decided to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on private investigators to really find out if Ilhan Omar was a genetic match, the DNA match to the man who was her second husband. They went to 3 continents. They found a cigarette butt and a drinking straw which they decided, they sent it to a DNA laboratory and found conclusively that the DNA matched, that the second husband was a sibling, according to this DNA sample. So the very day that they were going to unleash this on the world, and in fact I was interviewing one of the people involved, the FBI swooped on the gentleman, Anton Lazaro, from this Republican PAC up in Minnesota, and arrested him on some different charges. Who knows whether, he's guilty or not guilty. I mean, he's not guilty until proven, but he's in jail. And so his story never got to see the light of day. I mean, luckily he'd told the FBI they were not interested. They told him the statute of limitations had run out. We managed to see the website before he took it down, before he was arrested, and managed to report the story such as it was.
So it's been known for...
Okay, so she has denied it. I must say that. So I have to show both parts.
Congresswoman, do you agree with President Trump's assumption that you married your brother to get citizenship? Have you begun packing your bags for Somalia yet, Congresswoman Omar?
Not going anywhere.
So you're not?
No, don't waste your energy on me.
Do you have a message for President Trump?
I will be here probably longer than Trump.
Wait, do you have a message for President Trump?
I'm like a quarter of his age.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say to him?
I will say I didn't hear denial right there. I didn't.
I don't even know why that's such a scary threat. I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. I can go live wherever I want.
So that sounds like she really isn't worried. She doesn't really care. She can, she's probably looking forward to getting, I guess, denaturalized. But again, that is what she has to say. She's not the same 8-year-old who's scared. She is somebody that really just doesn't mind living anywhere else. And it would probably, she sounds like she's very excited about that. So what is the future of Ilhan Omar? Well, here is the president, ladies and gentlemen, on the plane where he is legitimately talking about maybe expelling or denaturalizing or even deporting. That is another thing that everyone has been mentioning here, but he is talking about that she married her brother. This is wild. Ladies and gentlemen, take a listen to this.
Frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do. And you're talking about Somalia, where you have a congressman who goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well, if that's true, she shouldn't be a congressman, and we should throw her the hell out of our country. Frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do. And you're talking about Somalia, where you have a congressman who goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother. Well,
I have to take a listen to this.
I have no.
So, I don't know where all of this is going, but a lot of people have their own thoughts on it. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on the food stamp fraud and on what's going on with Ms. Omar. The outlook of a lot of people. If you didn't do anything wrong and you want to just squash this, just surrender the DNA and move on with it. But I have not heard her say no. When asked, she never replied about it. She switched the subject to something else.
Allowing foreigners become politicians in this country. We really need to stop allowing foreigners become politicians in this country. I don't see how that is a thing. Ilhan Omar is being accused of marrying her brother to gain him citizenship. This is a congresswoman in the United States being accused of committing marriage fraud and incest, both two laws that are illegal in the United States. This was brought up a few years ago and it's being brought up again because new information, I don't know if it's new, but information has surfaced that the FBI is covering up the DNA test between her and her brother. And it's funny how when the whole situation surfaced, the DNA test still has not come out. If you wanted to prove that you and your husband we're not blood relatives. Would you not want to release the DNA test so people can stop accusing you of this? Yeah, but instead, recently I just found out that she's about to get divorced to him. I wonder why. Because why stay married to your brother? He's already a legal citizen now. I just don't understand how people like this get voted into politics. Like, this congresswoman has literally been on stage saying how much she respects Somalia and wants to go back to her country. She puts her country first before she puts the United States first. It's almost like she forgets what position she's in. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I personally feel that if you want to run for politics in the United States, you have to be born in the United States.
So that being said, get out there, prepare, stock up, put some food in your home. Do like the rest of us, I guess. Pray, plan, and prep. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the next video.